Somehow this afternoon, the rhythm is catching a fire in the afternoon. It's a Thursday afternoon, and it's just about time to say hot to the music and introduce our favorite. When you hear this, you know we're talking business. So, officially, good afternoon. Welcome to our continuing editions of Small Nature Island Small Business Buzz, where we open the window of an opportunity and the platform and the runway for our selected and individuals and official innovators and initiative of great budding ideas into mushrooming and overwhelming ideas, turning them into reality, and thereby creating the connectivity between work and play, using what the ideas and passions that they have, and turning, as Donald has taught me something new, how you turn your passion into profit. Which one you told me? How to turn your passion into profit or passion into purpose? There's something you came up with
last night.
Yeah, how to turn your passion, what you have.
Yes, to
Y-
profit. Yeah.
Yeah, how to, I follow in that. So now I'm turning my passion, and my passion is to entertain and to educate and to inform. I'm turning that into a profit. So I learned that from Donald. Okay, so Donald, welcome. And yeah, that was a good show that you had, a good event that you had last night. And it was held at we were online.
We're online, Google Meet.
Google Meet, and
Thank you for coming in, even for a few minutes.
Few minutes, yes, for good many minutes, because I learned the difference between having a strategy, having a plan, how to execute without killing anybody. Understanding,
that a plan is not a strategy.
Yeah.
Right?
So explain that.
And it doesn't mean that you have a plan. You already have a strategic plan. So a plan can be both strategic, or a plan can be strategic or non-strategic. Right.
Yeah.
So that's why we have to recognize that a plan is not a strategy.
Yeah.
Right. But it's the strategy that informs or directs or guides a plan.
Excellent.
Right.
Nice. So thank you for that clarity, because I didn't have that. And okay.
Because a lot of some people confused plans with strategy. So they think that they already have a strategy just because they have a plan. Right.
I learned the difference.
But a plan can be without strategy. Right. So it's not a strategic plan. It's just a plan.
It's just a plan. Yes.
Right. Now, in our context, if you are trying to develop a business, an organization, your plan must be strategic. Right. Okay. So that's why you have to follow some principles, some step-by-step process, guidelines before you can really come up with a strategic plan. But anyway, that's for another episode. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, because you're talking business and I'm minding the business of words. So you say talk about the having the financial principle, and then I said, okay, maybe you need the principal to talk to you about the principle.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's take a quick look back.
But first of all,
okay, first of all,
good afternoon to everybody. Good
okay,
afternoon to you.
that's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Good afternoon to all our listeners on Q95, right? And to everybody who's tuning in right now on our social media platforms. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, actually, right? And welcome. This is another edition of Nature Isle Small Business Buzz. Where we dive into the stories and strategies shaping Dominica's small business landscape. So today, Franklin, we are about to explore how entrepreneurship can go beyond profit. I know we mentioned about turning your passion into profit,
Yes,
but
now we're moving a step higher. Okay.
entrepreneurship can also go beyond profit, right?
Mhm.
How it can create opportunities, build communities, right? And even transform lives, right? So it's about purpose driven business. And today's guest is a shining example of just that. So
Indeed.
all of you listening right now, tuning in, I encourage you to stay put because we will have another great conversation today. And Franklin, before I bring back to you the floor, so to speak, what about our theme, Chariots of Fire?
Yes, it's
Wow. Ooh,
we've discovered that actually by default,
beautiful.
by default,
Mhm.
and what has to be will always be. So let me put it on cue here.
Mhm.
We intended through corporate communication from management and myself and others, we were going to use a locally made based Dominican based theme song,
Mhm.
and we had two. One of them from Trafalgar. I'm going to say, I need by your love, baby.
Mhm.
We weren't able to access that.
Mhm.
Then we had one from Triple K,
Mhm.
about not Triple K, I'm sorry, from Signal Band,
Mhm.
and we were unable to access that. Well, once our final suggestion at the back of my head was that theme song because it was not too jarring, it was moderate to partly cloudy, but not and slightly overcast, not threatening in weather, and it provided a nice background bedrock for the dissemination of information. See,
Definitely.
information or words or sound when it hits water, that's what it's called. FM is called frequency modulation, and AM is amplitude modification,
Mhm.
modulation. So thereby, we're now moving in total liquid stereo with this particular song that we've selected, and everybody, whenever they hear it, four
And
people
I
met me
think, uh-huh.
and said they went to Google that song. And how many people called me and said me, what that song, that theme song that you have? What is it? And I said, oh, it's simply called Chariots of Fire. He said, not St. Elmo's Fire. I said, no, Chariots of Fire. Just Google Chariots. And fire comes up, and it's called Evangelist.
Evangelist, yes,
Evangelist,
the
yes.
composer.
And it starts like
So a
this.
Greek composer, and actually, it's the main theme to a movie,
Yes.
right? To a movie of the same title,
Of
I
the
believe.
same title.
Yes, you know what I mean. And one thing that leaps into mind whenever I hear that track, that theme, one word: iconic.
Ah,
You
okay.
know,
How ironic.
iconic.
Yes.
Same thing whenever people hear the name Franklin Peter Moses.
When they had Donald, Mr. Small Businessman Bacasio. And then later on, in a short while from now, when you hear the name, you will be able to understand that he's more than beautiful, but he has exquisite ideas, brilliant mind, brilliant business. And we can't wait to hear him.
We are very excited.
We are indeed, yes.
And music is also one of her specialties or cups of tea. So
Yes.
it's definitely going to be a very exciting conversation.
Yep.
But
Absolutely.
first, we have to do some of our regular business, right?
Yes.
Which is
reflection.
All right.
Yes. Business reflection.
Yeah. So definitely, last Tuesday we had a very special, right?
Yeah.
We had Peter Julian, the brother of the late Sherman Beloga Julian, right? So, and His story is all about continuing a legacy, right?
Yes.
A well-loved legacy in the Citronnier, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to share three key lessons that I was able to pluck out
Yes.
from that conversation. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs and budding entrepreneurs look forward to hearing our lessons, every episode. So the first lesson that I'd like to share is this: legacy can be a business foundation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Peter didn't just start a business, he stepped into a legacy.
Yes.
So by continuing what his late brother Beluga began, he's shown that entrepreneurship can also be an act of brotherly love, remembrance, and service to the community, right? So ask yourself, those who are listening right now, is there a meaningful legacy that you can build upon to create something impactful? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Number two lesson: credibility is built over time and can be inherited, right?
Yes.
So much of the trust that surrounds that spot over there in Citronnier, right, was built actually by, Beluga,
Mm-hmm.
okay, whose warm smile, generous spirit, and reliable service made the place what it is. Peter honors that trust by maintaining the same spirit and quality. So, for our question for you out there, are you cultivating trust in your business that others can carry forward? Or are you honoring the trust built by those before you? And finally, the third lesson that we would like to share with all of you is simple acts can leave lasting impact. It may look like just a tea or stuff, bread, but for many, that roadside stop is a daily ritual rooted in familiarity, friendship, and care. Something Beluga started and Peter now continues.
Yep.
It's a proof that, simplicity done right can be deeply powerful. Okay? So ask yourself, are you overlooking the impact of your small business because it seems too simple? Think again. Franklin?
Yes. And so these basically forms the bedrock of continued education and information and insight into some of the fundamental tools that are necessary for the building up your foundation in business. And we are ensuring that you have the adequate tools for the employment of your business. And that happens every Tuesday and Thursday here. Additionally, on Q95, the big station. When we come back, we head straight to with our guests. This is Nature Island Small Business Buzz for today, Thursday. Yes, come in. Hold that thought. I'll call you right back. Right back. Hadna, Elas Franco, how are you doing? Things are getting really tight in this Goa season. Right now, I just don't know what to do. But Franklin, what are you doing? You're sitting on your money machine. With all them skills and ideas that you have, you can go further, faster. Awawi, go to the NDFD. They've got the best rates on business loans, not to mention affordable business support. They'll get your business registered and help you develop your business plan. They'll design your logo and train small business owners just like you. For real, I go down there now. All jokes aside, NDFD is helping people when others would not. Welcome back. We continue with our rather interesting program, continuing series of interesting programs where we delve into the lifestyle, the ideas, the productivity, the tools, the quality, everything. And we have a variety of business ideas, whether it's to do with bush trees, the acquisition of the using of the natural environment, whether it's a hotel, whether it's to do with food, whether it's to do with drink, whether it's to do with massage oils, whether it's to do with using coconut oil, whether it's to use any resource, any idea that you have. Once you can turn your what you just we just used a while ago, your into a profit, into a purpose,
Passion.
your passion. Yeah, and it doesn't always have to be from passion fruit. It can be from coconut or grapefruit or any other fruit for that matter. Turn your passion into profit. And that we're going to be using that as often as possible because when businesses succeed, it doesn't mean that the first time you're going to succeed. Let me just let you know that. But we are here to let you know that if you have a business and it didn't make it as you planned to, you now have more knowledge than the person who haven't started. Okay, so here we're not only talking about successes, we want to encourage those of you who have tried a business, didn't work, and then you tried again and succeeded. Listen, it was your time. Okay, so I'm heading over back to Donald. Donald, I'm going to be doing the introduction, and you take it from there. Okay, so I got to get back to my phone and let you know that she's here with me. She's here with us. She's sitting here. I can give you a description of her. She's dressed. Well, of course, I expected to have been dressed.
Well, what I know, Franklin,
Yes.
what I know is,
Yeah.
and it's very interesting from my point of view,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because, she calls her venture social enterprise,
Okay.
a social enterprise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that her venture, is reshaping, how we think about farming,
Mm-hmm.
tourism, wellness, and even women's empowerment here in Dominica. So, from organic farms to farm to table cafe and local tour experiences, her enterprise, her business, right, isn't just about business, actually. It's about building people, right? So she's here to talk about cultivating sustainable livelihoods
Mm-hmm.
while honoring culture, nature, and resilience. Franklin, you have the floor now to introduce our special guest today. She is.
Yes, and she is. I'm going to say it in French, English first. We would say in English, AIMEE is Amy,
Mhm.
but because of her background
Mhm.
and her history and
Yeah.
her heritage
Mhm.
and her nominal inheritance, we
Uh-huh.
say Aimé Laurent, which is French
Yes,
again,
yes, yes.
Laurent. and I think the surname
Remember,
is also it's Casimir. I have to say that.
and remember our new pope, right? In
Yeah.
English, it's
Privot.
Prevost.
In Dominican, it's Privot.
Prevost.
And you have to come from Marigot. Yes.
All right.
Okay, so we're here with Aimee. Good afternoon to you. Welcome, my friend.
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, I know you want to take my job with that voice like that. You're going BBC one time on Voice of America. But
So what's the full name again of our guest for everybody's benefit?
Mrs. Aimee Laurent Casimir. And she's
Welcome.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was about to ask. Don't know why is she here really.
Well,
She's got she's got some rather interesting stuff that you mentioned.
Oh, definitely.
So I will give you the permission.
So she
now
is.
to, yes, I'll give you the permission.
Well,
to
she
ask
is
the first question.
she's
Yes.
coming in. I know she wears
many.
a number of hats,
Mhm.
right? But today she's here as the director of another very interesting business name, Do Have To.
I want you to say that word.
business.
But you have to say it like a Dominican.
Don't
Say
have
it.
to.
Yeah, man. But you don't have to.
Don't have to. Yeah.
Virgin.
What you mean?
What do you mean? But you don't have to.
Pani pou fè
You
sa.
find the book. But I'm obligé fait though. I'm obligé fini. Yeah, let's tell them why.
So it's spelled D
D-O-H
H
H
again
small
A-
H A V
V
E
T O.
two.
That one word,
Uh,
one word. Don't have to.
two.
And industries.
Yes.
So
So how did you come up with that?
Yes.
What is it all about?
first
Because
question for you.
I
All
don't have
right
to
off
ask
the bat.
question.
Okay.
Because I don't have to tell you that people want to know what don't have to is all about.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But welcome.
Thank
Yes.
you, and it's such a pleasure being here. I'm listening to you guys now, and I'm a little
Mhm.
sad that I haven't been following this program since I've been in the dark about it. But here we go.
yeah.
Better late than never.
Yes.
So,
Definitely.
so to start off with, where did the name come from?
Mhm.
Don't have to. Started off because when I first moved back, I spent so little background. I
Yes,
grew up
yes.
here.
Yeah.
I'm Dominican. My parents are Dominican, even though I was born in the States, but my parents are Dominican. I was
Okay.
raised there
Yes,
from the
yes.
time I was 2 all the way through high school.
Mhm.
So all of who I am, all of the form of who I am came from Dominica. I'm a child of Dominica and a Wasin Waraka. My roots are in Atkinson.
Mm.
So I spent 26 years in the States after I became
Mhm.
an adult and then came back in 2021.
Mhm.
No, they didn't deport me. Trump wasn't sending people home yet.
Mhm.
it was a choice to come back. And then when I came back, um, I wanted to start a wellness business.
Okay.
But that had to sort of be modified and changed. Like you were saying earlier, like Franklin was saying, sometimes you start and then you have to change it and then you have to move. And
Yeah.
so
You have to pivot.
you have to pivot.
Yes.
Yes, that's part of being a business person, especially in Dominica.
Mhm.
So so the name don't have to. I tried to find staff for my brand new wellness business. I was trying to find staff and I could not attract the type of people that or the labor that I wanted for that. And I in trying to figure out why that was, like why I couldn't attract people with good money and you know what I mean, and why I couldn't attract them. I realized that Dominica's paradise, and the reason why you can't attract people with money and they're not incentivized by money is because they don't have to. We have
Mhm.
dashing and coconut. You don't
Mm.
have to. I came from a society where you had to. You don't work and you don't make money, you cannot survive. Here, you can absolutely survive and thrive without a penny in your pocket. And so that's where the name came from. Don't have to. Because really, Dominica is a place where you don't have to stay inside of the box. You don't have to
Mm.
think along traditional business lines. You don't
Yes.
have to. You really can be free to just do anything. You just don't have to follow
Wow.
rules.
So it's actually some kind of a tribute to Dominica, right?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Okay, so people want to know.
And you see, it's
Go ahead.
something that I always advise, people if they want to start a business and if they want to come up with a brand, something come up with something unique, right? A brand doesn't need to be a word. You can invent, the word.
Yeah,
Right?
I would ask you that
Yeah.
question, and I plan to ask you that question in a long time. I'm happy you brought it up now. How impactful is the selection of a name or a title? How impactful can that be on a business? Does somebody have to spend time in really finding out? Like Amazon is I traditionally unique for me because I want to find out what I don't have to. When you advertising, I don't have to. Now you make me want. So it's like a reverse oxymoron.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it is very important, right? Especially if you are in especially in particular industries, right? Of course, there are industries where your name cannot be too creative, right?
Too flashy.
Yeah, too flashy because you want to appear, more, more serious or more professional, right? So, for example, law firms cannot be too flashy in names. So sometimes it's just the surnames and things like that. But if you are coming up with a brand, it always helps to have something unique. because at the end of the day, branding is all about differentiation. It's all about setting reasons for people to believe that you are different from other competitors,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Because if you are not differentiated, right, then you are a commodity,
Mhm.
meaning
Mm.
you're replaceable. You're just like sugar, salt. I don't need the brand on that. I just, sugar is sugar, salt is salt. You know what I mean? But once you build a brand, then you become differentiated, and because of that, you know, uh, for consumers, it's easier for them to choose, because now a lot of consumers choose not really because of what they know, but because of how much they know the brand name, right?
Mhm.
Right. And another thing, it's all about standing out, right? Grabbing attention. Right now, we are an attention, what you call it?
Deficit?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have that, right
Okay.
now, right? And it's all about, for me, it's all about really differentiating yourself.
In the midst of the information overload.
Definitely.
Okay.
Right. So branding is very, very, very important,
Yeah.
right? Because you want to be different out there, right?
Mm.
But branding also must represent the
Core.
essence of your
But-
company,
mhm.
right? The essence of your company, the essence of your offerings, your value proposition. There's so many things to consider when it comes to building a brand. But I think her business brand, in the context of what she does, or what she likes to do, or what she does, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, so I don't have to wait too long to find out. So tell me the dynamics of don't have to. Tell me
Okay.
what is the, as you mentioned, the
Yes.
essence of your function and the foundation of your business.
Yes. So like Donald mentioned, it is a social enterprise, and it's actually it's a passion project. So I'm blessed enough to be able to sort of, like you said, turn my passion into profit. And actually, it's not even really turning passion into profit; it's turning passion into social change. Because I guess you could consider me semi-retired, and therefore can kind of put energy into the things that are important to me. One of them is the empowerment of women. I believe that any society that does not take care of its women is doomed to fail. And I
Hear,
also
hear.
I also believe that without the proper support, the development of Dominica's women is just behind. It needs some help, and if you don't have development of women, you don't have development of society. You don't have legacy, and so coming here, it was important for me to involve myself in things that would show women, everyone, but particularly women. There's a marginalized part of our society that you can do a lot with very little. That Dominica is such a blessed place that you can literally walk in with an idea, find what you need on the island for low cost, or most times free, and then you can create something with a little bit of hard work, with a little bit of collaboration. It's completely possible, and that's what I did with the cafe. It's located on Imperial Road in Corona. It's about a mile from Pocase. And we've been open since 2022, on and off, though. It's been spotty, mostly because staffing is a problem. Putting out a call right now, if y'all are listening.
Yes,
Do After Cafe is always hiring, and it's on the job training. So
I have a question though for you. Your business name, right? And that's also kind of like your brand name for your businesses, right?
yes,
Have you already registered that as a trademark?
absolutely. Do After
Yes.
Industries is a registered business,
Good. Good.
and it is the umbrella, for all the other threes. Do After Industry has the cafe, Do After Farms, and Do After Tours. And
Yeah.
the idea is to have a kind of multi-pronged strategy for how to penetrate the market here in Dominica, and how to penetrate the market on multiple fronts. So that what we're doing is exposing people to everything and anything that you can use here in Dominica to build a livelihood, and to create some generational wealth. The idea is to
Mhm.
not just create or to give someone a job,
Mhm.
but to teach them how to generate their own money, to teach
Mm.
them how to generate their own businesses, how to move from it just being an idea that they're doing in their back room to where it's actually doing manufacturing on a large scale. The idea is to take someone who has no experience in that at all and move them through the process in order for them to then have those skills to do it themselves.
Let me interject there. When you say
Yeah, but-
themselves, let me
Mhm, yes.
interject. You're talking about women.
I'm,
Oh,
I'm talking.
anybody.
I'll be
Them.
honest and tell you, it's anyone that I am training. I do believe that we need to train men as much as we need to train women. It cannot be focused on one group. The society requires a balance between both. And so the idea is to open it up to everyone. However, recognizing that women are marginalized, and therefore opening up the opportunity to them on a grander scale.
Let's go to another layer down.
Mhm.
When you say training in what?
Really, in all aspects of business, in entrepreneurship, in all
In
aspects,
business.
in business,
Mhm.
In all aspects of business. So I train people from the lowest job. I guess you would call it the lowest job. I don't tend not to have hierarchy in the jobs, because they're all necessary. And so from the very beginning, I train them saying that no one is above any job. You know, everyone cleans the toilets, everyone scrubs the potatoes, everyone peels the food, everybody does it. Everybody,
Okay, yeah.
because the idea is that you have to have the mindset that I will do whatever it takes to make the business work. And I think that lacks a lot, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
in our
Mhm.
people. So,
And just to be very clear, right? Your business have free complementary ventures, right?
Yeah.
And these are do have to farms,
Farms, yes.
do have to tours, and then you have the do have to
Cafe.
cafe,
yes.
right? And you see, Franklin, another good thing if you have a uniquely put together brand name, right?
Mhm.
That's easier to register,
Yes.
right?
Okay, yes.
Because certainly it's rare that that there's another brand name like that's already registered because it's a uniquely
Mm-hmm.
put together, right? So, and another thing is that when you have a brand name like that, it sparks curiosity, right? So, and then because of that, it gives you more marketing power, so to speak,
Mhm.
right? And then it gives you more power to connect with your customers, right?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
it's also memorable, right? And like I mentioned, legal protection, because since you have a uniquely developed or crafted
Crafted.
brand
Mhm.
name, right? It's easier for it to be protected legally, right?
Yes.
Versus, for example, you
Right.
come up with something that's kind of like generic,
Yes.
right? And anybody can just say, well, that's a generic word, of course I can use that. You cannot claim that word, you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So for example, you can have a brand name that's called Funny.
Mm-hmm. That's
Right.
my name. I can have it. I can have that. I can have that. I can handle that. Funny.
Funny,
Yes,
right?
and brand
But
that.
how can you stop someone
From using the word.
from using the word, a generic word,
Mhm.
right? So I mean, just to kind of like
Yeah.
double down on
Yeah.
on the lessons of branding before we
Yes.
move further
Can
about
I
yeah,
say one
sure.
thing about that?
Yes.
Just to kind of show that completely. So I said we opened the Don't Have to Cafe opened in 2022, and
Mhm.
since then, Don't Have to is I've used it as a tagline in a lot of my commercials and my stuff.
Ah.
And recently, I saw that someone else was using Don't Have to as a tagline. Actually,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Okay.
they were using Don't
Wow.
Have to as a tagline. And I reached out to the person and I said,
Mhm.
hey, that's my brand name, for my
Okay.
business. But you're right. If it wasn't so uniquely mine, like I wouldn't be able to reach out to him and say, hey,
Yes, yes,
you know
yes.
what I mean? And he relented. He was like, oh yeah, I know it's yours or whatever. But
Although if
still,
it's a positive post, I think you can even leverage on that.
I did.
Because yeah.
Yeah, because I saw. I'm not going to say where, because they may have to pay me for that. There was a title for a restaurant in Dominica,
Mhm.
and it simply says "Time to Eat,"
Mm.
Yes.
and I remember it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
and if
so-
you pass it at 4 o'clock,
Uh-huh.
I mean, I know marketing.
Yes,
you're tempted to go there at 4.
definitely.
Maybe if you see it at 10, it just commands you. You just time wait. Like my barber, there was a friend of mine who wanted a haircut,
Mhm.
and he had forests of hair like me, and he wanted to trim it down. So I didn't explain to the barber. I said my partner wanted his a hairdo, and he took out all his hair. He said, but Franklin Moses, but I tell you, send me by name, and I tell you, I want the man to trim my hair. The man cut out all my hair. I said, you didn't read the sign, the logo outside? He says, no. I say, you should read it. Go and read it. Whatever it says, I say, read it for yourself. It says, here today,
Mhm.
gone tomorrow.
What about this? Okay. What about this? What about this barbershop I encountered many years ago? You know
Uh-huh.
what's the brand name?
I have no idea.
Hair Force One.
Oh! I like that. Yeah. You see, that's presidential.
Yeah.
There is energy.
Air Force One.
Air Force One.
And yeah, so it's
I like it.
it's a very
Yes.
it's memorable.
Memorable, yeah.
It connects with you
Connects.
instantly.
But you want to
you
have
know,
a
it's
presidential
unique.
cut. I mean,
It's
Mm,
differentiated,
mm.
right? So just kind of doubling down on the lessons
Yeah.
associated with branding, right?
Yeah.
But I want to ask about how did you establish the connection between those three ventures? What's the kind of the thread that
Holds them together.
holds them together?
Yes. So the cafe came first, and then I was like,
Mhm.
well, I only do organic food, farm to fork, and the only way to control that is to grow your own.
You call that horizontal or vertical integration?
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. And so in order to provide that,
Mhm.
I decided, well, I got land, let me grow food. And so that's where Do Have to Farms came from.
Mm.
And then if you're in Dominica, if you lived in Dominica, and anyone who's here knows that you have to have more than one occupation. You gotta kind of put your feet in everywhere.
Yeah.
And so once I became tour guide certified, and then actually I had lots of tourists. Actually, I have a lot of international guests, people who have come and experienced the restaurant, and they keep coming back. But another part of the project is the hospitality. Is during the time that we're serving people, I'm having conversations with them about how wonderful Dominica is and about how it's a paradise. And these people who are visiting and are part of the tourism product, they're always looking for someone that knows about the island and can
Yes.
give them a more local experience.
Yes,
And
yes.
so that's where Do Have to Tours came from. So
Mhm.
the cafe started, the farm fed the cafe, and the tours give the guests an even better experience of why they don't have to stay wherever it is
They
come
don't
from.
have to.
They don't have to.
Wow, beautiful. So where does this concept of social enterprise come
Come
in
in.
to the picture?
Yeah, so it came in because of the I mean, I don't know what the stats are, but it looks to me like young people are just either underemployed or unemployed.
Mhm.
I came across a lot of young folks that were just not finding what they needed.
Mhm.
People who had graduated high school, some of them even had been to college and couldn't find a job in their field or couldn't find something that made sense. For me, that's a big waste of talent, especially when young people are excited out the door to do something. And, as soon as they leave school, they're ready to jump on and become a part of society and contribute, and they can't find anything. And it's
Frustrating.
frustrating.
Mhm.
Discouraging.
discouraging.
Mhm.
And so I said to myself, this is a perfect way to teach, because sometimes I feel like what happens is when you're inside of a place, you become a little myopic. And I think that, particularly the small island communities, you tend to kind of, because you're not exposed to a whole lot of other stuff that's outside, you tend to not really have a view of this, that, or the other, because
Mhm.
you're kind of too close to the trees, right? You haven't
Mhm.
seen the forest, which is why it's important for us to have information flowing from outside in and from inside out. And so, because of the fact that I came from I spent 26 years in the States and got
Mhm.
to see business and the world from a different viewpoint. coming here and seeing kind of like the holes, the things that they were not existing in order to really support small businesses, to support entrepreneurship, to support, just a regular person being able to find a way out of poverty. And so that's what it was. It was like, okay, well, we can train people to find their way out of poverty. And then for me, I'm a big advocate for women and women's empowerment. And also I work a lot with the prevention of gender-based violence in Dominica. I'm a big advocate for that, and empowering people, I think, is the first way for them to pull themselves out of violent situations. And so that's where it's like, if I can teach you how to not just give you a job, but teach you how to run this business, teach you how to do one on your own, so that you can no longer be dependent on anyone and therefore not be the victim of abuse. That's where it came from, and I've tried it. I've had 7 different groups of staff.
Wow.
You heard what I said now.
Different
7 different groups of staff. 7.
Lucky 7.
Lucky 7.
Yes.
I don't know. It's hard work. It's hard work,
yeah,
and
definitely.
And it's a change in the way that people think. Because here, when you have something, you have a product or whatever, what we do here is not tell anybody what it is. So we hold it close, so nobody do and do the same thing we're doing. Hold it real close. But that's not what I'm doing. What I'm actually doing is teaching them to do exactly what I do, so that they can go do it on their own. So it's a completely different mindset. Still,
Yeah, give me an example. For instance, if I know, I want to a specific example because I'm trying to pull it out of you. What portion, what attitude that you've recognized in terms of customer service that you would uniquely carve out for your staff in order to reflect your training, your example, and how you'd like to be trained? Give me an example of that.
Well, they are told that I don't care what kind of day you're having, you have to smile. And the reason for that is because that is hospitality, and that is the international standard of hospitality. And I think oftentimes we get a lot of caught up here in our own individual lives and what's going on with us and what's happening with us. And the customer should absolutely never feel your problems. That's not, I don't come to a restaurant for me to feel your problem. Like I come to a restaurant because I got my own problems and I'm trying to escape from them. So what I want is for you to give me a nice time. That's what I come for. The experience. I'm not coming for you to have a buoy face. You know what I mean? I don't want to see your buoy face. You know what I mean?
What about deportment? What about mental readiness?
So yes,
as you were correctly saying, I'm just
Yes. So yes, definitely. I mean, mental readiness. I mean, before we even step out and have a customer experience, I train them to kind of understand what it is to be the customer. One of the things I do is I take my staff, or at least my supervisory staff, I take them to restaurants with me. Like we go out to eat. I take them with me out to eat. And the reason why is because I want them to understand what it is to be seated in the seat and be the customer and deal with whatever it is that the restaurant provides. And then I ask them to give me a review on how they felt, what the experience was like for them. And the reason for that is so that they themselves can understand when I tell them the experience we're looking for is not that. They can get that, in a way that is maybe a little bit more digestible than if I just had to teach them and tell them.
Yeah, interesting.
I can remember a phrase about that, but right now I can't remember it.
Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted, I wrote down something there. Something that Amy mentioned. Okay, you too. No. So, we've had the opportunity for everybody. So now today's my turn. So I'm I'm making an ad for Franklin Moses. Okay.
Or do have to.
For and then I will do. She inspired what I'm about to say.
Oh, really?
Yes, Don't Have To has inspired what I'm about to say. So,
Yay.
So out of the womb of that creative name, I have now delivered. I'm presenting to you my baby, which is If you would ever need to find, research, develop, come up with both a uniquely creative, singularly innovative, universally capturing, catchy, compelling, unforgettable, highly impactful, make people come to you to pay you for your goods and services, call them master motivator and writer Franklin Peter Moses at 448-5822 that's Q95 or 315-7275. That's direct number. Or my email is mosesfranklin6 at gmail.com. Bye-bye. Where were we before we did live?
I was actually waiting for the do have to
Yeah,
phrase.
me too.
And you don't have to wait until tomorrow to call me.
By the way,
No, but out of her idea, but I get that idea because her idea is so unique. And the title, the name, you don't have to, which is it's like compulsive reaction, inquisitive reaction.
Actually, it's
How
more.
can I not have a business? Don't have to. I want to find out what I don't have to. do.
Yes, so it's actually reverse psychology.
Reverse. That's
You
what
know?
I'm looking for. How you can tell me I don't have to? No, I want to know because
Yes.
I am defiant. I want to find out.
You know,
so
very
you
nice.
are the lady who trains people to have what is called service etiquette. That's a new term.
That's a- yep, yep, yep,
I love that service etiquette.
Put that on a
Put that on.
shirt.
Oh yeah,
Write it down, write
But
it
remember,
Mm.
Franklin, I remember the quote now, right?
Which one?
It's associated with what she does with
Mhm.
her staff. Bringing them to
I like that.
restaurant.
Mhm,
The,
mhm.
the quote is, "Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn."
Yeah.
Give me that. Give me that. Give me that.
Right?
Give me
Yes,
give me that.
that
Give me
is
that.
true.
Don't hold that. Don't hold that. Give me that. Say it again. Say it again. Teach me.
That's not mine, eh?
I know it doesn't
Okay.
matter, but
Yeah,
we're sharing for
that's
everybody. We're
by
sharing for
by
everybody.
Donald Bricacio. No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Tell me and I forget.
Tell me and I forget.
Teach me and I remember.
Hold on. Hold on. Teach me and I. Okay. Go ahead. Remember.
Involve me and I learn.
Okay. All right.
Right?
So this is what Amy is
Yes.
doing.
Yes, that's the
Absolutely.
approach.
Absolutely, that's the
Mm.
approach. And I learned that in the
Mm.
military. I was in the United
I was going
States
to bring
Navy
that up. I was going to
Oh,
bring
wow.
that up.
for
Yes.
8 years.
Wow. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir. Well,
Attention.
no.
Aye, sir.
Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
y'all are giving me some kind of feeling.
Right, right.
So the one thing about the United States military, it is amazing at transforming humans very quickly from
By the way, let me tell you, I'm a reservist too. So
which
that's just
branch?
between us.
Which branch?
I'll tell you later. Yeah, but please
So
continue.
yeah. So
Yeah, definitely.
they know how to change. They know how to transform people. They know how to train people. They
Mhm,
do. They take people from everywhere, anywhere, and in 6 weeks transform them into a war machine.
Yes, yes.
And I
yes.
learned really well about that when I was in my 20s. So
Mhm.
exactly what you said. In order for people to really, really learn anything, they have to be invested. They have to feel like they are part of it. They have to know that it has something beyond just the especially here in Dominica, just the financial aspect. Money does not incentivize people to stay in their jobs here. Money does not. I learned this very early on.
Wow.
In the States, it's a very money. You stay in your job
Money
based on
centric.
salary. It's very money centric.
Uh-huh.
You take a job based on how much they're paying you, and so on and so forth. Here, it's not that. Here, there's so much more of a social
Like connection.
connection.
Yeah.
The society, I think, is driven less on money and more on pride, or maybe pride is the wrong word, but I would say what people think or your position,
Perception.
Right? That seems to be
That's
more
a very
important.
insightful thing that you're saying there.
Yeah.
And I think it's a skill. It's an important skill for entrepreneurs. The ability to, I call it market insight. The ability, the market inciting ability. Right.
Absolutely.
Right. That's why it's important for entrepreneurs to be able to step back and watch, the
Yeah.
business from a different perspective.
Yeah.
But my next question is, what's the big dream for Do Have To Enterprises? I know it's a social enterprise,
Yes.
and when you say social enterprise, it's not just about the profit. There are there's a reason why it's called social enterprise,
Mhm.
because you have other goals,
Mhm.
specifically, social goals
Yeah.
and other important goals. But just to be specific,
Yes.
what's the big dream of Do Have to
So,
Enterprises?
for me, success, or if I were to say I've made it with
Mm-hmm.
Do Have to, it will be when I am no longer involved in the
Wow.
businesses, where
Mm.
I am able to pass them on to some competent person who trained and learned what it
Mhm.
is and is now willing to do it. So what it looks like for me is I no longer am involved, and I
Mhm.
am sitting at home collecting royalty checks, or but not involved in the day-to-day operations at all. And the reason I'm saying that sounds, maybe that doesn't make much sense, but actually that's what it is. It's about training people to do what it is that I do, and then training other people to do what I do,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
that we just have a group of very powerful business women and
Mhm.
men, if they are able to come.
So I have a question for you.
Uh,
What if there's someone out there inspired by what you're trying to do and want to reach out to you, probably to not even probably to volunteer?
yeah, yeah.
What can they do to reach you?
Well, I have a website. Oh, well, actually, that one is not working right now. It's coming again soon.
Yeah.
We do have we do have a website,
Mhm.
dohavto.org. Needs a little work, but it's there. I've got social media. I'm on
Mhm.
TikTok, I'm on Facebook, and I'm on
So
Instagram.
what's the handle? What's the handle?
Do have to
Oh,
DOHHAVTO
okay.
at
All right.
DOHHAVTO. That is the handle. I'm also on YouTube. Do have to cafe.
Mm-hmm.
um, and you can find some really interesting videos and whatnot there.
Nice, nice.
Can I just tell you that Do Have to Enterprises already has success stories?
Mm-hmm.
There's
For
been
sure.
at least 3 people that have come up to me and told me that because of the training that they experienced, because of everything that happened at Do Have to, that they are now running their own businesses.
Wow. Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
one of
Wow.
them is running a business on Mero, on the beach in Mero, doing very well. And she came and told me, like, had it not been for you and what you taught me, I would not be confident enough to do this. So I'm give myself a big clap right there.
I think we have something there for you, Franklin,
Yeah, we
right?
did. Yeah. You think we give it her now? What do you think?
What
What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, but yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. This one's for you, right? And for Do Have to Enterprises.
Yes.
On this, our bi-weekly small business empowerment program titled Nature Island Small Business Buzz. Today, at this moment, you and your business enterprise deserves an enthusiastic NDFD and Q95 national standing ovation.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
By the way, Empress is saying hi. Empress Holistic Wellness.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
saying hi. Blessed Day family listening.
Yes.
Great show as always. Hi to my sister and friend.
Yes. Hi to
Yes.
you,
And of course,
Empress.
we have Glenda Shillingford Peter saying unique business name. It's a very catchy name.
Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank you
And
very much.
we also like to say hi to all our viewers on YouTube right now.
Yeah,
I'm
sure,
monitoring our
sure.
YouTube
Okay,
right now.
wonderful. Yeah, thank you very much for making us part of your company every Tuesday and a Thursday right here on the Nature Island Small Business Buzz.
Sometimes I might have get up when things get tough. We from the gaps, we don't satisfy easily. Give me so much, I hope I get back enough. But my work is done here, and I want you to know. With no hard feelings as I go, I get my best. Cause you depended on that. It was you who made my career show like a success. I just want to thank you. I owe it all to you. I owe it to you, baby. I owe it all.
Yes, we owe all of our profits, all of our successes to our customers as we make businesses, we create businesses, not for ourselves, maybe for out of our passion and our love for the industry. We want to thank everybody who is thinking and contemplating about getting into business. We're providing you with the tools and the platform for encouraging you. And because we know that is part of the grease that helps the engine of economic growth in our country.
You know,
Yeah.
Franklin, you know what for me will be a real powerful engine of growth
Mm.
if all businesses in Dominica become a force for good,
Mm.
right? Just
Absolutely.
like what
Absolutely.
you're
Image.
trying to
Yeah.
do.
Mhm. Yes.
So
certainly.
yeah, so someone is asking if they can contact you on WhatsApp.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. So I have two numbers. The local number is 767
Mhm.
245 6339. That's 245 6339.
Mhm.
And we take calling orders. We do private events.
Mm.
You can call
Tours.
me. Yep, we
Mm.
do tours.
Mhm.
And you can call me anytime. You can hit me on WhatsApp on that one, and you can also do dial direct if you're local on
Okay.
that number. If you are out of the country or you prefer a non-local number, my number is 443 570 9180. Again, that number 443 570 9180. And that'll you can get me on WhatsApp, and then definitely always on WhatsApp and on iMessage as well. I also will follow iMessage on that number.
Okay. Okay. One of the secrets I'm going to declare away about you is that she's very good at framing and putting together ideas,
Mhm.
concepts. So tell me about that. Here's a nice classic example. I'm in the process. I'm going to break some breaking news. I'm in the process of I'm preparing for my next Grand National Comedy Show. And so how would you advise me? Give me a brief framework, and from here, where do I begin? What do you suggest I do? 'Cause you-
Well, I mean, like Donald said, it's about marketing and branding, which
Mhm.
you are your own brand.
Mhm.
You're one heck of a brand, Mr. Moses. So that's not an issue. After that, it's just about promotion, making sure that you have the content, the material, and then putting out the promotion early and often. And that's it. I mean, I don't think it's going to be hard to get people to come to a comedy show with Franklin Moses. I really don't.
The
think
name
it's gonna be
itself
difficult. It's
Yeah.
will already
yes.
What do
draw
you-
crowds.
So what do you come in? You handle marketing. You'll handle my marketing. You'll handle
I think
my,
he set up a
my-
team for his show.
executive producer.
Okay, right. Okay. All right. So you heard it here first. It's for the end of July, June. So the end we have about 6 weeks. So end of July. Yeah. Listen, and one of the things I've learned,
Uh-huh.
just do it.
Just
Just do
There's
it.
never.
but remember, you don't have to.
Certainly don't have to.
But you have to. You have to.
But I have to.
Yes, you have to.
So we have 6 weeks. So the next 6 weeks, get ready for hard hitting, side splitting, mouth watering, tear banging, pants falling, bell busting, laughter. Okay.
One thing Amy do very well as well is singing. So my question is, if they get to visit your cafe or join your tours, will they also be privileged to hear you sing? Probably while in business.
So at the cafe, I'm always singing.
Oh.
You can also tune in live
Mhm.
on Friday nights, Saturday nights, and we usually are doing some kind of live version, some kind of karaoke,
Mm.
because music is my passion. It is
Mhm.
therapy. It is
Mhm.
my first love, my greatest love.
Wow.
And then also, I'm setting up a stage. It's not quite there yet, but we're gonna have live music as a regular part of the Do Have to Cafe vibe, because those are all the things I love. It's very selfish.
Mhm.
Exciting. Exciting.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes.
So-
you have to-
Sometimes.
It's good food,
Mm.
great music, wonderful company,
atmosphere.
perfect
Mhm.
atmosphere, and also what happens there stays there. Nobody gonna
Mhm.
medved.
Yes. Yes.
Our good friend Owen Vidal is intently watching and listening, right?
Yes, and he's responsible
Yes,
for
I
our relay.
suspect you're gonna tell me we have to go there one of these days.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we have to make a what is called a duvet.
Yes, a
Yeah, we have to
duvet.
make
Yeah,
a
yeah,
duvet.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
welcome anytime.
Oh,
Special
yeah,
guest.
Of course,
Oh,
big
yes.
up Owen Vidal of Ozone,
Ozone
Media.
media. Yeah, and it's not a foul, so it's not ozone layer.
No,
It's ozone media.
Yes. All
Okay,
right.
trying to make a good egg example out of him. Okay,
I
yes,
love it.
ozone. Okay, so We're happy that you were able to join us this afternoon for the continuing broadcasting series where we put the spotlight on small business ideas and entrepreneurs. No matter what type of business that you endeavor that you are in, we are interested. If you know somebody, a brother, sister, nene, uncle, godfather, stepfather, a bope, or auntie, even if she or he is a medbay, we want to pay the business. And we do this in collaboration with the National Development Foundation, which is one of the massive building blocks for over two, goodness, maybe 3 decades now. That's all right. People are calling Amy already,
That's good, right?
That's
Yeah.
very good. That's
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah,
good.
That's
Yes.
Yeah. We like that.
Yes, in fact, we like to do a quick review of our last program and to let you know that you can get your WAP app. In fact, I'm still thinking of the last Tuesday's WAP app. Your flavor still lingers.
Oh, by
And
the
it-
way, I spoke with Peter, and he told me that the campaign that I suggested,
yeah.
it worked very well.
people were honking their horns and
Honking
stopping, yeah,
and
they're buying, they're
purchasing.
yeah.
Yes, you know.
Yes.
So great job, Peter, and of course, continue to rest in power.
Yes,
You know,
well, yes,
Sherman.
absolutely. Yes.
Beluga.
Yes. So
Yeah.
today we spoke with Aimee Laurent Casimir, and we're talking basically, we're very drawn in by the title and the services that she provides. And they encompass three of those. Is the Don't Have to Cafe, the Don't Have to Farms, and the Don't Have to Tours. And we put them together. We've got CFT. It sounds like a fertilizer. or maybe like TNT. But we have the cafe, the farms, and the tours, a tripartite approach to using our natural energy and natural resources creatively to provide for us, very, 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 very addictive, delicious ideas and concepts, putting it into practice. Yes.
So, any anything you want to say, or maybe you want to big up some people right now?
Oh, well, yes, actually, thank you, Q95 and this program for allowing me to come and just kind of highlight a little bit of what I'm doing. I appreciate you all very much, and
We appreciate you as well.
thank you, thank you. Other than that, I just want to encourage everyone to come and check it out. It's different. Our food is different. It's fusion food, but it's using what Dominica produces, and it's just doing it a little bit different than what you're used to. I promise that it will tantalize your taste
So can
buds.
they go over there like tonight?
Not
Can-
tonight.
Not,
We're
not tonight.
open. We're open Fridays, Saturdays, and
Sundays.
Sundays. Right now, very
Oh.
limited. However, you can always call me,
Mm.
and I will make something for takeout.
Okay. Give me a number again, please.
It's 245-6339. Call me at that number anytime, and I can. Well, Mondays and Tuesdays you might not find me, but from Wednesday you can give me a call, and I'll make sure you get what you need. And we serve all kinds of interesting things, like any seafood, octopus, everything. Things people don't really like, we know how to cook them. So come check it out. It's different.
Nice.
It's a vibe.
But
it's a
remember,
vibes.
they don't have to.
You don't have to.
No,
Yeah, but
You don't.
if you don't want the octopus, if you don't want the octopus, you can come from the chateau.
That's right. That's right.
That's how we come to the end of our program for today, Thursday. We were speaking with Aimee Laurent Casimir about Don't Have to Restaurant and the services, ancillary services. We want to thank you very much for listening. You made a great audience as always. We'll see you again on Tuesday at the same time for another edition of Nature Island Small Business Buzz. On behalf of Mr. Donald Bacasio and Franklin Peter Moses, bye-bye. Thanks. See you again on Tuesday. Yes, come in. Hold that thought. I'll call you right back. I'll be right back. Nah. Hey, Las Franco, how are you doing? Things are getting really tight in this Guava season. Right now, I just don't know what to do. But Franklin, what are you doing? You're sitting on your money machine. With all them skills and ideas that you have, you can go further, faster. Huawei, go to the NDFD. They've got the best rates on business loans, not to mention affordable business support. They'll get your business registered and help you develop your business plan. They'll design your logo and train small business owners.
I've heard people say that too much of anything is not good for you. I don't know about that.